Welcome everyone. I think there are still a few people enjoying maybe the room, which is I think hard to leave, I understand. But we have to get started because otherwise it will be too long a day, and for those of you who are fasting, I think that can be difficult and taxing. So, thank you for coming. I know that the timing was not optimal for any of us. There were a number of complications over the past months. The biggest one was the fact that for some places it was very hard for me to communicate with email, and that makes things always very difficult, and not knowing what's what. I know that in your case one of the addresses was not right, but in other cases that wasn't the case. I couldn't reach people, I couldn't get responses, and I was told that they are emailing us and no emails came to us. But nevertheless, even with that, I appreciate the fact that everybody was able to come. I know that for some of you it's particularly hard. For some of you, getting visas was an ordeal, and it's always difficult to make sure that visas are given, and it's difficult to continue to work with people when there are all these politics in between that you have no control over and you can't overcome. So for that I'm grateful that all of you are here today. Honestly, I don't know when we will be able to be back and when we will be able to do more work on this. This is our final project in the region for a bit. We were obligated, because we had a little bit of more money, to put together a workshop next week in Morocco, which we organized in the last 2 months, which is one of the reasons that we couldn't invite you there because of visa issues. We actually extended an invitation to Dr. El Bouni, and he said that it's impossible to get a visa for Morocco, Exactly. So that's why you did not hear about this, not because there was an intent to exclude people, but it's the realities of the situation are such that it
takes time.
It's impossible to manage something. So next week we have a 1.5-day workshop in Morocco, in Rabat, where some of the books you have in front of you, and I will explain, we had some money. We had some money. You remember we gave you last year a blue book, right? This is the sister, the second volume of that book. And both of those are now translated into Arabic, okay? They will be freely available as PDFs to download. And so next weekend we are able to hold a meeting to tell the world that these resources exist in Arabic, along with other materials also in Arabic from the University of Bradford for teaching on biosafety and biosecurity, some other materials from the Royal Society of London, of the UK actually. So all of those things will be available. Some of them already are in Arabic that might make teaching in your countries easier. So after that workshop, our programs, which have been going on for 5.5 years, will, at least this phase of them, come to an end. I do not know when we will be able to have more money to continue this work, because even in the United States things are changing, and the priorities are shifting away from teaching and from academia to all things security that are not something we do, but others do, and these others set the priorities. So we have to, when there is those priorities, mean there is less funding for the kind of work that we do. So that's that. And so for us, this meeting here is particularly poignant because we don't know when we will see you all again. So having said that, Liz and Alistair thought that since we have so many individual presentations and thoughts and work that we'd like to hear from, to make it into subgroups and to provide questions to sort of facilitate the presentation and the way that people think about what to tell us. It doesn't mean that we don't want to hear about everything, but it would be easier, we thought it would be easier to sort of make it more specific, shorter, between 15 and 20 minutes for each of you, and then after every presentation, we'll have 10 minutes for questions and answers. And at the end of the day, we will spend some time talking about common themes. Now, I realize that the end of the day might be too long, so if we need to shorten things in deference to those of you who are fasting and who might be tired, then we will do that. But you need to let us know that, because otherwise we won't know, and so please tell us that we need to shorten things, and we will do that. Also for tomorrow, I know that your flights leave at 2:30, and I know that you have to leave the hotel, I think at the latest by 11:15. I mean, tomorrow is Sunday, so the traffic will be not so bad. So we might start the day instead of 9 o'clock, maybe we start it at 8:30 so that we can do stuff, because tomorrow, what we put in the program is primarily a discussion about assessments. Okay, I know that many of you have told me over time about assessments. In other institutes like this that we have done, assessments have continued to be something that most people struggle with. How to use them, how to create them, how to benefit from them. So in the agenda book, first of all, what we did is we provided you here, it says over here, assessment tools. So you have a copy of every type of assessment that we have created to use in our institutes. Each one has a specific role, and we gave them to you so that you can see how they look. If you want to create similar ones, we would be happy to help. And what our presentation, Alistair and mine, tomorrow, what we're going to do is two things. We're going to show you a little bit of data that we have received and we have analyzed from our institutes about what people have learned, about some of the difficulties, about some of the trends that we see. And we are also going to do an exercise together about how to create good questions for an assessment tool. And we will go through this exercise, and you will see, I think, that it can be difficult to create the appropriate questions, and it can be difficult to actually score them. So we will go through this together so that at least you can have an idea about what it takes to put some of these assessments in place. Okay, so with that said, I think we can move forward to the first couple of presentations. Halima, you're up first, and then Hakan. Okay, and again, please don't. I mean, keep it. If you keep it, within the 15-20 minutes. Do not feel that you need to give us more than that. With the questions, we can, hear a lot of additional explanations. The idea is to hear, I think, the main points as per the questions that each of you sort of discovered in this exercise, and then to have a discussion with all of us about your challenges, about your opportunities, that sort of thing. Okay?